We good?
We're good.
Oh. I'd like to call to order the December 3rd meeting of the Little Compton Agricultural Conservancy Trust. Thank you all for coming. Before we get to the minutes, I'd like to take a second and recognize our compatriot Rusty Cabot. This is his final meeting as an Ag Trust trustee. He's spent 6 very productive, I think, years with the trust. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Rusty for all his efforts and wish him well in his farming endeavors as he moves forward. So Rusty, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rusty will be very missed by the stewardship team as well.
He'll be missed by all of us, trust me.
Nothing isn't terrific, but
Any more embarrassing remarks for Rusty or? Okay, moving on. Minutes, I'd like a motion to approve the public session minutes from November 5th. So move. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Any comment, discussion, corrections, additions, deletions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Very good. And now a motion to approve the executive session minutes from November 5th. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, comments, retractions, additions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. The consent agenda, unless there's a member of the public or a trustee who wants to remove something from the consent agenda, I'd appreciate a motion to file all these lists under consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Moving on to correspondence. We've received a notice from the Little Compton Planning Board concerning the Rita Way plan. We are being contacted as an abutter. And I'm offering you the opportunity to make any comments you may or may not want. I guess before we decide whether we want to offer an opinion about the so-named development.
I just had one question. The hearing was set for yesterday. Is that accurate?
That's correct. So it's kind of after the fact.
After the fact, okay. So I guess, hey, Christian.
Was it resolved? Was there a vote?
Yes, so it's a major subdivision, so there are 3 stages. Last night was master plan stage, which required them to get relief and some waivers in order to accommodate the attainable housing benefits. So after 3 hours, that was concluded, and we passed the major stage.
Step 1. Okay, thanks.
3 hours?
Lots to talk about.
Okay. So would this have been, now that it's passed, our one bite of the apple, or will it be additional?
No, so this, so now they have approval for the relief they needed.
Yeah.
So they will prepare the preliminary stage.
Okay.
Which actually has them do the detail. They have to do the surveying and get engineering
Right.
started, so.
Okay.
Just one quick, is it 5 lots, five houses they're gonna put?
Two attainable houses. It's 8 acres.
Yeah.
They're doing a subdivision for 2 attainable houses and 1 market rate house.
Oh, I misunderstood that. I thought it was five altogether.
But if I thought I heard that they plan on building the 2 attainables and the market lot may go.
The market lot will stay with the family.
Yeah.
The attainable lots will be sold to single families.
Great.
Just one other thing, Mike, too. The Unified Development Review, does that mean that will bypass it does not need to go in front of the zoning board.
Correct. It's part of the new state law. And
Okay.
a subdivision that requires zoning relief is then heard by the planning board and granted by the planning board. Zoning board is out of the picture.
Okay, thanks.
Cheryl, anything about the letter received from Chubb Insurance?
So that letter is regarding updating our insurance policy. I've held on to it until January, hoping that our new members are appointed so we can do one application and get it to them by February 1st.
Perfect.
So the correspondence, we're paying a couple of invoices for Chubb, right? The same organization.
You are.
Whereas the correspondence sort of made it sound like whatever we have is expiring in January, but it's not the case?
No, I believe what you see under correspondence is for your directors and officers insurance, and we have to file that every year. The other insurances run on a 2-year renewal.
Okay.
So I think they were asking simply for the data, so they have the names of the current trustees. Right? Yeah. Okay. Treasurer's report, Mr. Souza.
Okay, for November 30, the date ending November 30th, we have the checking account and beginning balance of 31,592. Deposits of 15,000. And checks written on that account for 30,709 for an ending balance of 15,883. For our money market account, we had a beginning balance of 3,234,419. Deposits comprised of the transfer taxes primarily for 13,389. Transfer to the checking account from the money market account of 15,000. Interest on that account for the month was 6,929 for an ending total of 3,632,808. And the third account, the trust savings account, had a beginning balance of 1,455,852. Interest earned on that account for the month was 3,832 for an ending balance of 1,459,684. For a grand total of all three accounts of 5,108,375.
So Steve, I don't keep daily contact with what interest rates are these days.
Right.
But I know that they were north of 4 at one point. Have they come down, or is this worth asking a question about to Washington Trust?
It probably is. Every month I do notice, and I haven't noticed the range that you've noticed, but they do fluctuate every month, by a small amount. I don't know what that's based on, but I certainly get an explanation and bring it back next month to see, potentially if there's a change and we can realize a great
Yeah.
interest rate.
It feels like sometimes these days, all you have to do is ask, and people are
Yeah.
willing to offer you more.
I'm more than willing to do it.
More than what we're getting there.
Yeah, I can do that.
And if one still ends up being higher than the other for whatever reason,
Right.
I wonder why that is, but if so, shouldn't we be having? And I don't understand the difference between the money market and the savings, so I admit I'm talking over my head.
I'm not certain too, but obviously on the face of it, it would seem you have 3 million in something that's making less interest than your account. 1 million, it would make sense to transfer some of that money.
I think so.
It would seem to make sense. So let me, I'll try to get some details and I can bring it back next month and we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump on a Zoom with you or
Yeah.
even go see him if you want at some
Okay.
point, just to sort of at least educate ourselves.
Yeah.
I know that David Wexler was all over this at one point.
Okay,
Nice if we were all over it again. Okay,
I'll reach out and I'll let you know and we can decide.
okay.
All right.
Payment of bills.
Okay, payment of bills, for the month. Anyone has any individual questions on the different invoices, went through the invoices and the total for the month were $37,113.55. Absent any questions, I would make a motion that we approve payment for the month.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, comments, thoughts? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thanks. Cheryl, is this yours, credit card application and usage? Or is it Steve?
Well, I don't really have much to comment on that, but I did talk to John McNamee.
Yeah.
And there seems to have been a pivot in terms of our credit card. He is now, initially, he was gonna have a credit card from Bay Coast Bank, an application sent to Cheryl to use in her name. Now he suggests it might make more sense. They have a Citizens Bank credit card that the town council uses, that's in, I guess, Bob Mushin's name, that we have access to, and I guess we've used in the past, that he suggests might be an easier way to do it. I don't know if anyone has any.
And then they would parcel out any charges to us so that we would then reimburse.
Very similar to,
That would be our credit card.
That'll be our credit card, not Bob Mushin's credit card?
It'd have Bob's name on it still, but it would be used solely for the Ag Trust.
And would it be a different number than the town number? Or is it all the same and someone's got to go through month by month and allocate the charges?
I don't know the answer.
see, I think, and, I looked at the invoices this month, and if it corresponds, Cheryl, to how this is, it seems like there were a couple of charges on the credit card. One charge was ours, and one charge was not. So I'm assuming it would have, was assigned to an expense for the town council. So I don't know if that means there'd be more charges on it than, I think we need a little more clarity as to,
Wouldn't it be better just to have our own? I mean,
Which is, I think, which was the path we were heading down, and this is sort of a curveball.
yeah, we don't.
yesterday I talked to John, asked him the status of the application, if we were gonna get the application, and he thought we should revisit it now. He suggested we go this route because for whatever reason it'd be easier, and it's been done in past, and he would suggest maintaining that same path. I can say as a result of our meeting tonight, I was wondering, in discussion with the group, if we could still go forward with our own and see what he says.
I think we need to get our own. I tried using the town's credit card before and it turns into
Yeah,
a
it's no good, it's no good.
Yeah,
painful career, so.
I'm more than willing to go back to.
Even if it takes a little extra, let's,
yeah.
take the time and do it. Okay. That's my opinion, so.
No, I think that's right on, Wayne. Any issues with that perspective? Okay. Transfer tax forms, they were distributed to you in your package. Unless someone saw something that I didn't see, they all looked kosher for this month. Okay, yes. Anything else on transfer tax receipts or the forms? Okay, moving to policies and procedures. The standing rules update, I'll give an update, but Cheryl, why don't you talk about, well, we got an email from Heather Cook. This is just a minor point. We got an email from Heather Cook. The standing rules that have been approved by the town council had 3 different typos in them. Very minor, but I'm glad someone's looking over our shoulder. We simply gave the town council the go-ahead just to revise the standing rules to fix the typos. So I think we're right back to where we should be. But that took a couple of emails. Is that correct? Anything else in that?
Rusty sent me the documents so we can fix the typos.
Fantastic.
Now, do we have any update on the transfer tax forms?
Yes, I was going to, yep, that's good.
Thank you.
So in terms of the standing rules update, as you know, we just mentioned that the standing rules with appendices 1 through 6 have been approved by the town council. We submitted an appendix 7, the transfer tax payment process. The town council referred it to counsel, meaning Attorney DeSisto, who has been in conversation with Karen Browning, our counsel, and they had a phone call on it and agreed that there were a couple of very minor things. They agreed that Karen would revise and then resubmit to Attorney DeSisto. She did that. And it is on his desk evidently, or at least an associate's desk. We had hoped to have it in front of the trust for tomorrow night's meeting. That's not going to happen. Karen and Attorney DeSisto exchanged email a day or two ago, and Tony basically said, I need to look into it. So we're still waiting, but we seem to be on the right tack at least. And I would hope that by the December 18th town council meeting, we will have a revision in front of them that they can vote to approve, reject, or make further comments to. Any thoughts, advice, perspectives? Okay. So that's the standing rules update. Anything else in policies and procedures? Staffing strategy. As you know, we've had a number of conversations about staffing levels on the trust. There have been a variety of opinions and perspectives. And here is what I suggest we do at this point. As you know, we're about to lose Rusty. We've already lost Anya. So as after tonight's meeting, we'll be down 2 trustees. By the way, the town council was supposed to hold interviews tomorrow night for the Conservation Commission, new appointee to the Conservation Commission, at which point the Conservation Commission would then appoint someone to the trust. The town council has, and I don't know why, the town council has postponed the interviews for the new Conservation Commission member tomorrow. So until the town council interviews the 3 Conservation Commission interested parties, the Conservation Commission can't go forth and appoint someone to the Ag Trust. So I don't know what the holdup is or what the update is on when they're going to hold those interviews, but I'm assuming it's going to be rather quickly. Something must have happened that caused them to not have time to do it prior to the town council meeting tomorrow night. So we'll just sit tight on that one. As far as Rusty's seat goes, Rusty's seat has been posted. And for anyone listening, anyone here, the town council is receiving letters of interest in advance of its December 18th meeting, at which point, if it has only one trustee, one applicant, they will vote. If not, they will hold interviews. So if anyone is interested, getting your letter of interest before the, into the town clerk in advance of December 18th. I don't know the exact date. I don't know if it's 4 o'clock on the 18th, or maybe it's the 16th, or maybe it's the 17th. I don't know that, Cheryl. But anyway, I'm just telling you. Okay, so what I suggest on the staffing strategy is that when we have a full complement of trustees again, we try to have a relatively robust conversation about our staffing levels and try to come to some conclusion, yay or nay, on whether we want to add somebody or not. In advance of having that discussion, which again will happen when we get our 2 trustees back, so we're at a full 7 people. In advance of that conversation, I've asked Steve to do a little work to gather some data, and I've asked Ned to do a little work to gather some data, so that when we have the conversation, I will be able to put in front of each of you information that may add to and help us in that decision. So Steve and Ned are going to go ahead and do the work. I will meet with them at some point over the next month. And so when we're ready for that conversation, we'll have some data. So we each at least will have a similar amount of information. Okay? Any thoughts, comments? Subcommittee reports, communications. Well, in the absence of Natalie, who's not here, and Greg, who's not here, And Anya, who's not here. I've been working with Natalie and Greg on the survey reply that we propose we send out to each of the residents in town. This would be a follow-on to our 5-question survey that we asked folks about various questions. And we felt it was relatively important for us to reach back out and say, hey, here's what we learned. So Natalie and Greg have prepared this as a proposal for what goes back out. Before, I should have done this first, Cheryl, I'm sorry. No, let's do this first. So don't ask me the size of this. I don't know, but the intent would be to make it the size that is appropriate for the lowest cost to get it back out to our residents in whatever fashion we decide to do that. And it's not clear to me, we know exactly, maybe you do, I just haven't heard, how best to do that. But how we deliver this to the homes is important, and that may or may not have an impact on the size. But this is sort of what it would be, two-sided, I think, although this is designed as a folding sort of thing. And I don't know if we want to do that or not, again, depending upon the cost of getting it out there and the cost of creating it. So I don't want to get hung up on the form as much as this is their suggestion for the verbiage that would be on it. So thank you, Little Compton, 2025 survey. Here's what we heard. A little bit of sort of thought bubbles here on our heritage. And then it says, here's an update on the questions we sent out in September. The responses gave us insight into various attitudes and concerns across our town. The most common themes expressed were: 1, desire for more communication from the Ag Trust so the community has greater visibility into our work. 2, conviction that agriculture, conservation, and open space are all important to Little Compton's character and way of life. And the third theme we heard was hope that the Ag Trust might find ways to help farmers secure affordable housing. So those were sort of the 3 most noted themes in the 135 responses that we received. And it sort of finishes with, as we look ahead to 2026, we plan to continue reaching out to the community, watch for our annual report early next year. We'll send it to our email list and post it on our website. Thanks to everyone for caring so deeply about our town. And it says, don't miss communications from us. Join our email list by writing us at the trust email address. So we don't need to approve this tonight, or we can approve this tonight. If you guys want to think about it more, I'm happy to have you think about it. But I think that it would be nice if we got some indication that we're on the right track. I would like to get this out before Christmas if possible. And that, maybe that requires either approval or just simply say, I got a couple of thoughts here and there, and then we'll approve it under the condition that we'll fix some things or whatever. So anybody?
I got a
Yeah.
quick thought.
Sure.
As far as hope, find affordable housing for farmers. We're not in the housing business. So why don't we change that to something a little less direct?
I just so you know, I did change it already to something less direct, so you can imagine what it said before. But
I know, but we're not, that's not our charge, it's housing. That's what the feeling I get from reading that.
But this is a response from the community.
so this is the only thing I'd say, Wayne, is that this is what they told us as opposed to what we've agreed to do. I hear you, but I think I'd like to suggest that we remain true to, this is what we heard. It doesn't mean that we're going to do this, although we have said that one of our charges is,
Put it in writing and then people will say you said that, so.
I think
We didn't say
we didn't
that.
say that.
yeah.
That's what they're gonna read.
Yeah.
That's what they wrote. Kind of.
So maybe a little compromise for Wayne there, that we have agreed that we're interested in providing housing for farmers. And not, and I may be wrong with this, but focusing on affordable housing, because that has a connotation of broadening it to me, to more than farmer housing. And we have said that that's one of our goals
Yeah.
and what we're after, and I think that the public responded to that.
So are you suggesting, Mike, maybe we drop affordable?
Yes. Just because it,
I would suggest that we try to help farmers, young farmers, get started in town or something like that. I don't know the whole idea about how affordable housing.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
but I think we have all agreed that housing for farmers is an important.
It is, but
Component.
that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
Oh, no, but back to Rusty's point, we're dealing with the response of what the community said.
That's just reflective of what we heard, right? That's not reflective that we were required or need
That's correct.
to, right?
Right. But, you know, I think Wayne's point is valid, though, that when people see that, that's what they're gonna remember is that, oh, the Ag Trust is gonna do housing.
But if it's a response to a survey that we sent out, we sponsored, I'm not so certain we can really have a lot of license as to what someone else said.
I think the idea of perhaps scratching the word affordable is not a bad idea. But I do think
I agree with that too.
I do think we have to remain true to what we heard, this is what we heard. So,
Can I make a suggestion?
of course.
Would perhaps access to housing be truer to everybody's statement here? Hope that the Ag Trust might find ways to help farmers access housing. Is that a more accurate alignment with what both you're hearing, but also what you previously committed to? Not so much that you're in the housing market, but that you're open to partnerships or open to deals that work in a way that housing is part of it.
I'd be fine with that. Okay. Does that soften it for you a little?
Say that again?
She suggests hope that the Ag Trust might find ways to help farmers access housing. I know you don't like the housing word.
Let's move on.
Okay.
I'm not gonna change anything.
All right.
One other question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Observation. I don't like blue. Blue doesn't appeal to me. If it was green, like a field. But, that's just my opinion.
Okay,
I'm with Wayne on that.
Yeah, I like a light green would be.
Yeah, I don't like that.
all right.
I mean, if it's possible, I agree with Wayne, yeah.
Let's see if we can't get it green. Good idea.
Maybe we won't like green, but at least we can.
Okay,
I like that idea.
In the square in the lower right, we have the email address, right?
yeah, that's just a
Where's the
placeholder.
website there? So to direct people for more information to the website.
What is the bottom line there? I can't really.
Oh, that's a made up. email
Oh,
address.
okay.
Yeah,
Something.net.
yeah. Well, so here we.
She has the right one. I gave it to her.
Yeah, no, that's fine. The question about the website is very pertinent. We just don't have one that's to send people to tomorrow.
But the one we have that they would go to is the old one, right? We have not shut that down.
Is that still
Still active.
out there?
And you can still get
It's pretty good.
All right, so we
email
can,
list from there, right?
yeah, so we can probably,
And we're going to keep the same address, right?
Same domain name, so
yeah, okay. Why don't we add the website address? Okay. I'll let them figure out where they want to do that.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yes. Anything else before we go? Okay, good.
Well, yes, you want to know about mailing this,
Oh, yes. Well,
or
we're
not? Okay.
However you do it, the most economical way.
Get another format where they're gonna.
yeah, we'll get another format. Go ahead.
Flat one or.
Please, Cheryl, enlighten us.
It's been a lot. So from investigating on the post office website, we're not considered a nonprofit because we're a governmental agency,
Okay,
which means we would have to do business bulk mailing as opposed to nonprofit bulk mailing. A little bit different rate, but doable. I met with the postmaster in Middletown today, who was very helpful. And he directed me to take and talk to our printer and see if they have, some printers, I guess, have their own bulk mailing permit number that can be used, and then they bill us accordingly. So I went to Graphics Plus, which is where some of the people from Modern Printing are now working. I spoke with Marco. They use the mail manager in Middletown that we used last time. So what he told me was they can do the printing, and if we need to put tabs on them, they'll do all of that. They can separate it into the routes that we need. But we would use her permit number.
okay,
So she would bill us separately for the postage.
okay.
So that's another way to go. So we can either go through and do a business permit of our own, or we can go through and do it with Graphics, and they'll use the permit from Middletown Mail Manager.
So when you say a business permit of our own, we would apply for that?
Yes.
And I hate to ask, so tell me, there's nothing available to the town? Or the town has, or,
No. And Marco at Graphics also told me they just did the mailing, he said for the community center, and that they printed 3,300 copies for everybody in town.
and so how do they know the number?
I don't know how we got the number. They got the number and the routes for
You
him.
provide the mailing list to them, maybe?
I don't think we provide
I
it.
think, no, they just did postal customer.
Really?
Let's make sure Ned gets one this time.
So so that's the information we've got so far.
Okay, so would it say,
Apply online for our own permit, the business permit. It doesn't tell me how much it's going to cost. You open an account, you have to put money into it, and then when you do your mail, they bill it against the account.
so we can open an account and Graphics would just bill against that account? Who would
No.
bill against that account?
The post office, when we take it to the post office, they bill against your permit number.
So Graphics or whoever you're talking about, they would just do the printing.
Keep it simple.
I'd say we get our own if we're gonna do mailings.
If you want it out before Christmas,
Keep it simple. When you take it to the printer, give them the money, have it mailed.
So I'll use their permit.
Yes.
Right.
We received something in the mail, at least I did today, from a committee on town. Same thing, because I was looking at it. Permit number was XYZ. It was under the printer's permit number, so this committee used another permit as well, so I'm assuming maybe that is an efficient way to go.
so if we go that way, what will happen is Marco will contact Rhonda at Mail Manager in Middletown, get her permission for the permit, to use the permit and get the permit number. Tell her how many we sent out. And then she bills us for that portion, separate from the printer. It would be two different invoices. One would come from the Middletown Mail Manager, and then the printing would come from Graphics.
A lot of hands.
Yeah, a lot of hands, but,
But he'll put them all in the right route numbers and
Yeah.
all of that, so I just pick them up.
okay. Why don't we try this and see if we are better, have a better success rate than we did the first time? So how does this differ from what we did the first time? Do I even want to ask that question?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
I think it was a number issue last time,
Okay.
more than anything else.
All right, so when we get it, will it say postal patron or will it say something else? Just say postal patron? Postal patron?
Patron or current resident, either one.
Okay, so now in terms of form, how do we determine what to do? So we'll get a bulk mailing rate, no matter what form it takes? And if it's heavier, it'll be more, I assume, or,
It goes by the size and the weight.
and is there a way of determining?
I don't have it in my hand to be able.
It's not, that's not worth the trouble.
That's not what the trouble,
It's gonna be an automatable size, so it'll be
okay.
a postcard, I think
We can direct Greg and Natalie to work with
Marco.
Marco and figure out what might be not the most affordable, but a decently affordable way of doing this. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. That really helps. So I'll be able to direct Natalie and Greg to you to have you share this information with them.
I will get in touch with Marco and get his email address and have him start the process.
Okay. Back to your question.
I'll second his motion.
I don't have a motion.
We don't have a motion yet.
So I would make a motion that Don continue to work with Natalie, Greg, and the printer in conjunction with Cheryl to send out the postcard as depicted with the amendments that we've discussed.
Website address, green rather than blue, and a slight change to the words on housing.
Correct.
Should we include a date that we want it to be completed, or that's?
We'll get it out there as fast as we can, because I want those guys moving on to this other stuff.
Yeah.
We don't need to worry about this anymore. Okay? Second. All those in favor?
All right.
Thank you very much. The website update.
We were talking about that before the meeting, actually, and I don't know where Anya is in her last bit of review, but the town, I think, is moving to a position where they can actually do some of the things that we were gonna go out and get commercial businesses to do for us, i.e. hosting and being the registrar for the website. So I think right now we have Cheryl and Jonathan focused on moving that stuff into the town's purview. And as far as I know, Kyle and Six Square are ready. I don't know again whether Anya's made inputs subsequent to the last access that she had to the website, which apparently was in the middle of November.
So, good.
So I do have administrative rights to the website, and I was gonna suggest that maybe a couple of us just come here one afternoon, we put everything up on the TV screen, and we just make whatever changes need to be made.
Oh, that would be
I feel
fabulous.
like there's several changes. I've started a list.
So this is what I know. So Natalie reached out to Kyle. In all this time that it's taken to get the new website up, there's a lot of dated data, 2024 data on there that we really should. I don't think it would take a lot, but it does need to be sort of brought to a 2025 standard. And once we did that, I think we just turn the thing on and move
Well,
forward.
in that case, I would go with what Cheryl suggested, get a couple of people in here and update what needs to be updated
Yeah,
on the new website. It's ready to go on the commercial sites that we have already picked. And moving it into the town's purview, we can do anytime subsequent to that. So as soon as somebody says that they're ready, which I would have done previous now, and make our new website go.
okay. I will tell you that my issue really has been that there is no champion of the website, and we have to fix that. So at some point, we're gonna have to assign a trustee to say, you know what, you have to worry about the website, and hopefully it's in conjunction with Cheryl and it doesn't take any thought, but someone has to be thinking about the website. And right now, nobody is, because we don't have the new one up. So that'll, why don't we wait for, new trustees to be announced, and at that point, we can figure out who that champion is. Okay? Do we need a motion for anything? But you're gonna pull together, who's willing to come spend an afternoon or a couple hours?
Why are you looking at me?
Because I'd love you to.
I would be happy to, but I also want to declare that there is a piece that is broken in some way on the map that is on me to deal with Dan at 6 Square. And
Okay.
I haven't done that yet, but that should be a quick fix.
Sorry. Well, I am very happy to come spend an hour or two and look at the website. So, and Carol just volunteered, so.
We can do it in between the Christmas and New Year stuff.
I could think of a better time, but.
I just don't see it happening like in the next 2 weeks,
Oh, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, I see.
maybe after the first of the year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but let's,
I mean, I can start changing stuff.
no. Let's do it together but I understand that we're a little busy between now and Christmas. So, I think that was your point.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. All right. Anything else on that? The 2025 communications, the annual report. One of the reasons why I want Greg and Natalie to get the survey response card out is I need them to move on to the annual report, which we should have made more progress on by now, except that we continue to wait on the town for data. And a lot of what I've been sort of throwing at you is to try to make us self-sufficient in the data, because it's maddening to me that we have to wait this long to get data out of the town. I mean, they've got other priorities, I understand that, but what we're really talking about is simply cost and revenue data. And if we were to update that spreadsheet on a monthly basis that shows revenue we can generate our own data by year end. So the problem is that we didn't start that early enough, so we don't have 25.
Right.
So you only
We
have
have
24.
26.
We will have it for 26, we won't have it for 25. But if we have to wait much longer, it won't take us long to populate that spreadsheet.
No.
Just by going back and looking at the costs on a monthly basis that we've authorized.
Cheryl and I are kind of working on that a little bit too, so
All right,
it shouldn't be that difficult, I don't think.
because that's really the data that we're waiting on, is just our revenues and our costs. Is there anything else that I don't know about?
You need your transfer tax forms, that revenue.
Yeah,
Um,
but we have all that, right?
and you don't really use your expenses in that report. It's really just transfer taxes.
So
I
can't
have it though.
can't we create this ourselves?
I've started.
Okay,
On some.
Is the copy portion of the annual report done?
that I don't, they started it, they sort of put it on hold while they were worrying about the survey, and now they need to get back to it, which is why I want to get the survey out. So I know they started work on it. I don't know in what form it sits right now. Okay? I'd appreciate that, Steve. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Anything on the database? Good, okay. Anything else in communications? Stewardship.
Stewardship. So the first item is the letter from Enbridge on Algonquin. So we had sent out a letter to people who have an easement. And then we got this notification from Algonquin that they were going to notify who had an easement. And so now there's a little bit of confusion out there, I think, about what's actually going to happen. So that we need to first get some information about Karen was going, I don't know what the end conversation Karen had with Algonquin about the easements and what they could do and couldn't do. Because when you read through the letter that Enbridge sent, they're gonna go out to everybody and survey. And then they're going to create a study category, a corridor. What that is, how big it is, how disruptive it may be going through people's property is completely unknown. And so I don't think we have a contact at Algonquin to really understand what's gonna happen. And once we do know that, I think we should write a communication, second communication for all the easements hold, or the grantor's.
Yeah, right.
So that they know that we're informed and we understand what's gonna happen and we agree with what's gonna happen. Right now, it's I don't know what the end result of what has happened, just with the pipeline to the river. All they did was put the pipe under the river, right? So that we're in the dark as well. Their map still shows the easement going diagonally across the southeast corner of the field, where my understanding was that they were gonna straighten that out. Maybe they're not. But anyway, we really don't know what they're gonna do.
So in terms of a next step, I've not communicated with Karen to say, we've received this communication from Algonquin. She does know that we sent out the letter to all of the easement holders. So why don't and then was the Gene Helger Bento
Email is not in
not in,
this packet. It came after.
okay. We did receive an email from one of the easement holders, telling us that they've been contacted. It's a little hard to follow the email, but she was alerting us that she'd been contacted, which is what we asked her to do. So why don't I get to Karen, have her go through the Enbridge email, see if it follows her understanding of what was necessarily going to happen. And I'll just get her opinion on what we should be doing next.
Because
With the resolution and conclusion of the pipeline work they did,
Yeah,
working with someone, right?
yes,
And they came to a settlement, and she has a contact about
yes,
what you can do and what you can't do relative to the easements.
right,
So that would be the logical person to
yes.
engage and make sure that we know what to expect, and then we can inform the
I just have a question, Mike. I don't know if you might know this, but just reading through the letter, it says Algonquin is currently briefing federal, state, and local officials on this proposed enhancement. Do we know if the town council has been briefed on this at all? If they need to be briefed on this at all? I mean, to me, the enhancement is different than what they already have done, right? This enhancement is something new that they're doing, or it's ongoing?
bigger project. When you read the letter, you know, they go from 36-inch pipe,
Yeah,
Which is not happening.
inch pipe, which is
That's not, that's not in
Compton.
down here.
That's not down here.
It's not down here.
right.
But 6 to 12, I think, is down here.
Yeah,
Yes,
if you look, the red is what they did. They came across the road and stopped right there. And the yellow was what existing, and they're gonna, you see the red up top, they're gonna join the red, the two reds
Yeah,
Gotcha.
with
Yeah.
12-inch.
with 12-inch.
But is that something that the town council needs to is included in and is aware of, according to this letter, that they're currently briefing them? Does that mean they are gonna brief them?
That would be a good question for
I don't know. I'm saying.
DeSisto, just to see if, and I can ask Heather also.
Because also in the last paragraph, we do not hear from you, the representative will attempt to personally contact you to discuss if you have any questions.
Well, my concern is more the page where they describe the survey activities. Create corridor, they're gonna do an environmental assessment.
Yeah.
Flag the wetlands. And then, limited excavation, test holes for where they're doing exploration for possibly, archaeology, right? And so it sounds like they're expecting to be able to do whatever they want to do
Right.
along the pipeline. And
They're kind of leading us down that path, I think. And this is only a partial, as I read the letter, this is step one of probably many steps and, many write-offs from many different people in areas, but I was just wondering if,
Well, look, I could be entirely wrong. I think the work that they're suggesting is happening is what they would need to do to be responsible in the future work of putting in the new pipeline. And it's putting in the new pipeline that's going to be the most.
they have to be respectful of the adjacent areas.
Well, they should,
And I don't know,
they should be working within the easement.
That's.
well,
The only
Think like
thing
extending
that's
is what I
gonna probably upset everybody and RCS is the staging areas. They'll be outside of the that's what happened last time.
Yeah, right.
what, at Manchester's or, I mean, when they came in, those.
Anywhere along the line, they'll have to have staging areas, and that's what's
And
upset some people.
they have carte blanche to do whatever they want in those.
I don't know. They ask permission. Generally, they ask permission from the landowner for where they can put the staging area. Because they did that down the Fraud, but
So
it never came to us.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think, let me put this in Karen's hands for the time being.
Okay.
Yeah.
She'll get us an opinion on what's going on.
One quick question. Did you sign for them to survey?
I haven't done a thing.
All right.
So there was a form at the bottom of that.
There's a form that needs to be signed.
Yeah, so why don't we just hold tight until I get,
But to Wayne's point, I'm sure Gene didn't sign a form. They just showed up.
yeah,
So it's nice to have it in the packet.
well, in that particular case, she's running a Christmas tree farm. She's kind of busy.
No, I
And
understand.
so she got the email and, what we all do, and she got the letter and went into some
He's busy.
desk pile, and then all of a sudden they showed up. So, yes, good. Nope. Okay, so I'll get hold of Karen and I'll report back. Almy, right of way act, sorry,
No,
it's your part of the meeting, man.
that right of way, I
Yeah, I asked,
talked to them and,
the people that bought the Almy property in the
Right.
back along the river. They have a right of way across our property. We own the right of way. Which is down, right.
That was not what was meant to happen, sorry. So.
And they've put up they put a rope across down near the road, which,
Right.
and then there's a no trespassing sign. I don't know if they put the no trespassing sign. I go by there every day, but I just noticed it when they put.
I haven't seen the no trespass, I've seen the chain or whatever, but I haven't seen the
Yeah.
trespassing sign.
Yeah, it's on the post.
Is it?
So we should have sort of dialogue with these people for the simple fact that they're gonna put an improved road in there and we want them, it's a 50-foot right of way. And we want to put it where we want it, not where they want it, because we want to keep it where it is now and not into the field more. And I think we have a right to do that, because we did it over at Pratt's on the other side. But I think
so,
the stewardship committee should get in touch with them and
okay,
set up, have a meeting or, friendly, welcome to Little Compton, but you can't do this and you can't put
No,
a,
I think, I had met with them when
Yeah,
Bill Smith.
planning board stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll get a hold of Bill and contact and try to set up.
Yeah. I'll be glad to go help you.
Yeah,
You know, it's fine if they want to put something across with the, you know, their ownership starts, fine, but they can't block off, right away. We
No.
got hunters going in there and farmers, not this time of year so much. But, it's just a nuisance to take down a chain or a rope or whatever.
Isn't there? Okay, so I'm just catching up. Didn't I see a chain across
Farrell Bank.
Farrell Bank?
Yeah, that's where I saw the chain. I didn't see a chain
I
here.
haven't seen this one.
Farrell Bank, we don't own that.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah, there is a chain at Farrell Bank, yes,
yeah,
at Fraud.
it's all in the same neighborhood down there.
Yeah, this is at,
Oh, I didn't.
it's not a chain, it's a rope.
There's a plastic chain, I think, on
Yeah, at Fraud Farm, yeah.
the
yellow
Ford
chain.
Farm, yeah.
Right, I saw it. I was out there the other day at that field and it's there and it's new.
Okay, all right, so you got this, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah.
So next is Anarumo, right of way off of Old Harbor Road.
Coming.
How's he doing so far, Rusty?
Working on it. We're gonna get there.
So this is a screenshot of the access from Old Harbor Road from our survey. And
All right.
at the top portion, you'll see the stone wall right of way comes in from Old Harbor Road. Then going to the west, you get to the cul-de-sac, and then the sliver on the north, there's a 20-foot trail easement right of way that we have, that we've maintained or retained. So that's the land where the cursor is right now
This is the Talbot now,
is the,
Little Compton Housing Trust land,
correct, that's the housing trust,
And this is,
and this is us,
and that's us.
and this is the question right here.
right?
So the top piece there, so then,
Now, fast forward to the plan. Yes,
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 the plan at the moment has them coming in.
so
This is the 20
Old Harbor Road's over here somewhere.
Old Harbor Road is over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Comes in, this is the 20-foot right of way, this is the housing trust parcel. And the ag trust parcel should be accessed by this easement.
So you see it, there's in the upper left, there's sort of a dash line that runs from left to right. Is the 20-foot trail easement,
This,
correct?
yeah.
And so the current plan has a retaining wall, and
This is the plan submitted by,
this is the plan that the church community prepared for the housing trust, that the housing trust voted on to implement.
and has this been submitted to the planning board?
No.
Okay.
So at some point, an application will have to come to the planning board for a comprehensive permit to have 4 houses, a 4-house subdivision.
On this piece of land, right?
Correct. And that will go through the stages, but the question is, do we want to communicate our concern over the existing plan, just so that they're aware that we have concerns about it?
Chief among them is that this is a stone retaining wall. This is a retaining wall that runs through the middle of our right of way.
There now.
No, that's in their plan.
That's in their plan.
Correct.
So, I could be wrong, but it's a 20-foot right of way. And the plan shows this retaining wall 8 feet off of the northern boundary, which means the quote, passage way, the travel way within the right of way is reduced from 20 feet to 12 feet.
And
Because this
immediately up against the
Depending,
steps.
it looks like it's, I mean, if you pick the 12 feet, the 12-foot side of the retaining wall, right? You're right against that first house.
Yes, you're right. You're peeking in their windows as you walk by.
So I don't think they would prefer that. Anyway,
Okay.
The question
the
is,
question is, do we want to communicate?
do we want them to put a retaining wall in our right of way? Is that the question?
Well, I think that is not the specific question for me. For me, it is, we're aware of this. We want to communicate our concern that we want our 20-foot right-of-way preserved.
Then I said the same thing though, right? We're concerned that they're taking up some of our right of way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And as, from my perspective, we were granted a 20-foot right of way.
That's what we should have.
That's what we should have.
Let them design what around that.
If they want to change where the retaining wall is, or if they want to, I mean, they could change our right of way to run slightly more southern, so it's still 20 feet, but it's on the southern side of the retaining wall. You know, I think there are options to talk about.
There are options to move the houses.
Of course.
There's a lot of land there.
Yeah.
Right.
4.9 acres, right?
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, at the moment,
All you want to do is have a dialogue with.
I'm suggesting
That's
that,
our concerns.
yes,
Okay.
And how do we best do that?
I would suggest that the chairman write them a letter.
Okay. That's not a dialogue, that's a letter.
Well, you can do it on the phone if you like.
So,
I think that there's so much that's documented that's going on that it's important to,
okay. And, yeah, letter to Housing Trust.
right.
Cheryl, I'm getting a lot of homework here. I'm not liking this. Okay.
Okay, the next one is also concerns Ann Rumo, but it is what we discussed about utilizing the path, permitting the Harts to use the path on part of our property to access the western portion of their property. We discussed it at the last meeting. Ned and I met with them. We walked the property, went down. It appeared to be of no consequence at all. Would maintain the thing. So suggestion from our last meeting was to consider licensing them the use of that area with a renewal on a regular basis, just so that we can inspect it, make sure that it's maintained. And it's okay. I think that there was no apparent objection utilizing the path while we were there, that they want to limit it to 4 feet so they can run a John Deere down the, and it is a raised runway sort of that out of the wetlands there. So,
This makes complete sense to you.
yeah. So I think the question is having Chuck draft a license that we can review and people believe protects us and is acceptable.
Motion to allow to have Chuck write a license.
A license agreement for us to review.
So moved.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
And who will work with Chuck? Is that
I can work with Chuck if you like.
fun?
The next item we have is the Kuto sign the property. And Cheryl had distributed to everyone proposals for a sign. So that's up for consideration, comment.
I am completely indifferent as to what color and whether the background is the background or solid or all that.
I'm not quite indifferent. I like the sign, the plain one. I like it a little darker green. Other than that, I think it's terrific.
So on,
It's not dark enough for you?
Well, I wouldn't consider that hunter green. I mean,
No, nor would I. But I think,
I gave you this page. If you look at this end would be a little more yellow and this end would be a little more black or darker.
As long as it's not blue.
I'd go with the darkest one.
fine.
Okay.
And do we want the sort of shaded background or do you want the solid background?
I think personally, shaded will get lost with
Yeah,
time. So it's better to just have it simple and plain.
okay. And no one's concerned about it, the sign blending, once it all leaves out, and there's all sorts of greens out there, this also.
The white is what's important.
You could put a border around
Could
it.
do a border white.
Yeah, put a white border.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Motion,
Motion to approve?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So it's darker green, no background, maybe a white border.
Yep.
Okay, let me bring you up to speed on, anything else in that?
Nope.
How are we gonna mount it? Is it gonna be
On a pole.
on a post, on a tree?
Three, I don't know. A post, I think, should be.
We'll worry about that at some other point.
I can take care of that. I can get someone to do
Yeah,
it.
can you do that? That'd be great,
That
Wayne.
sign, speaking of the sign, that sign on Radcliffe looks great.
Yeah.
I happen to ride by there. and
Finally.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
You guys did a nice job.
Did come out well.
Yeah.
Sal's gonna put up a toll booth.
How many of your 6 years was spent on that sign?
Rusty and Wayne should be very proud.
Looks nice. I think they should add a,
Go out on Rusty.
There was one complaint that I heard.
that it's too nice.
No, the back is white.
I think it's nice.
Oh, on the reverse side.
Oh, on the back, on the axle.
That's only one complaint I've heard, so.
Oh, would you have blue?
From the guy that lives on the other side?
I assume.
It's actually a legitimate thought, if we had thought of that. So in the top part where there's just blue sky up there, should we name this the Rusty Cabot sign and have that slotted in there?
Rusty on the kiosk.
Okay. All right. While we're on Kudo, just for a second, Carol and I had a meeting with two representatives from DEM to talk about operating on somehow making that boat landing a little more accessible. We told them of our idea about providing parking across the street on the Kudo property. And these two particular folks they thought this was a great idea. On December 9th, there's a public access committee meeting of Rhode Island DEM. And they're gonna raise it at that time, at that meeting. But again, the two people that we spoke to they thought it was a great idea, but yeah, it has to go through a committee. Meanwhile, Bill Smith had done a survey and an OWTS plan for the property. And on his survey, right sort of near the mouth of the driveway, was a proposed pervious turnout area. And I spoke to Bill on the phone. He's very aware of the property. And he said that just to the sort of northeast of the driveway that goes in. It's all flat, relatively dry. He said you could easily put, 2 parking places in there or 3 parking places in there without much effort whatsoever. So and actually the plan that he put together had proposed or planned or at least raised the idea of this happening. So I think it'd be easy for us to do if we didn't want people stacking cars up on the dirt road as it goes into the property. Just have them pull over in this little parking area. So I think from my perspective, at least, this makes some level of sense, assuming DEM wants to play ball. They were worried about a traffic crossing there. What safety precautions are they gonna have to do? So, that's sort of in the back of their minds. The guardrail is a problem in that it stops you from getting to the landing easily. But, I think if they sent an engineer down there and had them think about it for a little while, I think they could probably do something. So, and then the actual access onto the pond, that's gonna require some
It's a
maintenance.
little overgrown.
Yeah, it is definitely overgrown. But, at least in our November 10th phone call, am I missing something? In our November 10th phone call, they seem to be all over it. So we'll wait for their December 9th meeting to happen and we'll hear back. Any questions? Okay. Back to you, Mike Keeney.
Keeney, that's a mowing question.
Yeah, I met with Avila Moore. And just so happens her man, her landscapers were mowing her field. She said, I'll mow yours. I said, fine. I went back the next day, they only did half, so I have somebody going back there to finish it. It has, I would say it was mowed 2 years ago. It wasn't, I don't think it's been 3 years, but I could be wrong. But it's not brushy or anything, so it's a fairly easy fix, so. Good. That's where we stand there with a very nice lady, very understanding, a fan of ours, so.
Oh, good. Have you had luck finding mowing sources other than Jack?
Yeah, I've got somebody else.
Oh, good. Okay.
Picking up this Jack, little sidebar, he has to go for hip surgery, so hopefully next year he can be back on course.
Oh, okay, good. All right. General stewardship update?
Generally, everything's good.
All the wheels are turning. Julia has just completed her second round of farm lease monitoring. We're well on our way through this round of easement monitoring. Bunch of paperwork to do this month, and you'll hear more about our findings in January. BDRs are underway on the Merrill property and the Waddles Beck property, so we're still working to close that backlog. And further on the agenda, Adam's on tap to work on Bumblebee on whatever timeline is needed to have a BDR done before closing with the Nature Conservancy.
What a concept. Okay. General maintenance? Just all good? Good. Okay. East Side Trail project update. So just to remind you, I've talked to Ned extensively about this, and I think he now agrees that our focus should be trying to connect Simmons Mill to Old Harbor. And let's at least get something done and try to make the investment that we've made in this accessible to people. So I'm keeping them focused on sort of west to east without worrying about what happens elsewhere. And as part of that, the 2 properties that we would have to cross that we don't have agreement to yet. One is owned by Audubon and the other is an easement to Audubon. So Carol and I met with the executive director of Audubon, Jeff Hall, and is there somebody else in the room? Just us? No,
Just the three of us.
just the three of us. And he listened politely, isn't necessarily sold on the idea, but he was very willing to bring it in front of the property committee that actually met on December 2nd. And Carol was at that meeting and she can give us an update.
Do you want this on screen or no?
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
So a little awkward because I wear multiple hats. I serve on the board of the Audubon Society of Rhode Island and chair their property committee. So that's a conflict of interest that I have to disclose and recuse myself on the Audubon side from participating. But I was asked by the trust to go and represent the trust's interests in this issue. So this is a map of the proposed trail. So this is Old Harbor Road in Westport. This, if you're familiar, is the Old Harbor Wildlife Refuge, which is managed by the Westport Land Conservation Trust. Over here in green is Simmons Mill Management Area, John Dyer Road, and the John Dyer Road parking area for Simmons Mill. So both of these have existing, well-used, well-loved, appreciated public trails already. The area clear through the mask here are properties that are held in some form of conservation by the Ag Trust or others. Those in gray are private holdings. So what the Ag Trust has secured already is a trail easement with the Westport Land Conservation Trust up the Spicer's driveway. This piece at State Line Farm LLC was a 2-acre piece acquired a couple of years ago, an easement and trail easement to cross that. So this yellow line is the currently completely theoretical but proposed trail corridor that seems to make the most sense. This is a State Line Farm, the Spicer easement. So the trail would follow wherever possible pre-existing cart paths. So a lot of these, if you're familiar with the wet woods in town, there are a lot of east-west traverse ways that have been put in historically when the areas were used for farming or wood cutting. So those exist here. So the idea was to try and lay out a trail network that uses those previously altered areas. So you weren't having to deal with wetlands permitting or crossings or things that are already mostly in place. So everything in blue is wet or approximate wetland boundaries in this case. So there is an area on Spicer that gets wet, but there's something existing there. It would have to cross the back of the Stein and McDonald property, which is private. This area here labeled Pollen is a easement held with Audubon Society of Rhode Island. So in order to cross that property, it would require not only Audubon altering their conservation easement, but the current landowner being willing to offer a trail easement. The next step would be crossing the Audubon Turner Refuge, which is property owned in fee by Audubon. It doesn't have any deed restrictions, so it's really at the discretion of their staff and board to make a decision, at which point it crosses onto the Ag Trust Anarumo property. Highlight of discussion for this evening's meeting follows an existing cart path through this wetland, comes out on John Dyer Road, just south of the Simmons Mill Management Area. So that was the subject of the conversation. These are just some.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
That's fine. Okay.
Good question, Carol. Why would Audubon not want to let us have a trail across their
So Audubon's mission is quite different from the Ag Trust mission. It's a trifold mission. They do a lot of work with public facing refuges and trails on specific properties, but they're the largest private conservation, or they're the largest private landowner in Rhode Island. They steward over 10,000 acres. So it's a lot of land that is not accessible to the public. And there's a real strong sort of wildlife conservation, environmental services, conservation values kind of thing, that there's a belief that, not everything needs to be publicly accessible. Some land should be conserved for its own reasons. So I think there was a little more hesitation in, why would we open a trail that brings people, invasives, dogs, disturbance for things that they may not be interested in. But there were no closed doors. I think the biggest question for Audubon is less about the land over which they have full discretion and more about land over which they only hold an easement. That really goes back to the individual landowner. So if that individual is not interested, then they can't, say anything about that.
They only have an easement on that.
They only have an easement and a lot of respect for, following donors' wishes. I don't think they're interested in advocating for it if the person isn't interested in doing it. So I think there's plenty of room for continued conversation,
But I think for the most part, this has been in the planning stages and largely theoretical. And this is really, I've said to Ned, we got to make this happen. And if we can't make it happen, we don't make it happen. But let's stop pursuing other options there and let's get this done. And I think this is where the rubber hits the road. Can we get it done or not? There aren't good options if we can't get to go across the Audubon.
There's wetlands you gotta cross too, right?
yeah, so the current sort of, again, it's theoretical, but the current design is based on existing cart paths. So kind of like the situation with Mr. Hart and Anarumo, there's a path there that was altered historically that gets it up out of the wetlands. So kind of it's already there, we'll just use it.
Well, to some extent, I would think that would be a little bit of an assurance to Audubon. Because if you're confined to an established path, there's no need to deviate and go into wetlands.
Right.
Yep. So we started the conversation. Carol and I, again, had a very pleasant conversation with Jeff. He agreed to have the property committee hear the proposal. And I think the next step probably is for Audubon to send one of their folks out to walk the property and sort of give a real opinion.
I'm not sure if I told you this, but by happenstance, while we were meeting with Jeff that day, their staff person, conservation staff person, Scott Roran, was actually out on that property.
Oh, really?
Totally by accident. So they communicated. So he has been on both properties and explored the area very recently. The one other thing I would add from the conversation is that they are definitely interested in trying to be a good conservation partner, like trying to figure out if they can say yes or how, like that the relationship was definitely something that was valued about.
Yeah,
wanting to work together. And that was true of the full property committee and everybody.
I heard that loud and clear with Jeff also. I mean, I think that they'd like to try to make something happen, but they don't.
It has to
know if they
all,
can.
it has to all. work.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you. We'll report back at some point. Land Protection Committee. The first up is the Nature Conservancy, the Bumblebee properties, John. And what I have on the agenda are 3 questions and then the draft grant agreement for the 2 parcels that we've agreed to participate with at Bumblebee. TNC has a survey. Can we use that survey?
Yes, I will reach back out to. The survey that's in place was the subdivision plan from 2001, which was completed by Narragansett Engineering in Portsmouth.
Yep.
It did not show the property corners. There are no stakes on the ground. I reached back to Narragansett Engineering yesterday. The original surveyor's son is now in charge. He remembers the survey. He gave me he's willing to take on the assignment of surveying each of the three parcels, the two in particular. Locating the corners, and then, updating the plan to show where those corners are located. I don't have the timeline yet. TNC was prepared to pay for that. You know, we'll do it as fast as we can.
Fantastic.
But he got back to me one day, so I thought that was good.
But there's no stopping us from using TNC survey. Great.
Once I come, your past comment about the trail, I'm gonna volunteer Bob Emerson. He showed me around through those woods years ago. He's had friends and whatever, so if you haven't already got him on your list, let him down. I'm sure he'd be glad to work with you.
Bob would be a great advocate. Thank you, John. That's a great suggestion.
Does he have a connection to
He's
Audubon?
an extremely well-respected birder.
Oh, great.
I cut you off.
Yep. Tell me about the phase one. Do we need a phase one of this property?
We should probably do phase ones on every property.
Yep.
But this one probably don't need.
What do you have, John?
We have to do them we do them in-house. We commission a records, search, and then we visit the property and we ask some questions. I don't, I'll make sure that I can share that with you if you want to see it.
That'd be great.
The history was, nobody's ever used it for anything other than livestock a long time ago, and it's really been, either ruderal or corn to Joe Manise ever since, so.
Okay,
But those would be the hazards.
I think if they can share what they've done, that would be more than sufficient.
I agree with that. Fantastic. And then a BDR? It's on your list?
Yep, Adam is standing by. I've been in communication with John. It makes most sense if the boundaries are going to be marked that we go out after that to do the site documentation. So we'll stay in communication and work to get it done as fast as we can.
Okay,
We're planning to close on the first parcel next Tuesday, the 8th. We're planning to close on the next one, January 30th. If we need to, we can slide the January 30th one. I don't want to slide the one for this one.
so Cheryl, in terms of the checklist, is there anything that I left out that,
Not that I saw.
great. We do have a process and Rusty documented it and it'd be nice if we followed it. So we're trying to do that. In your packet was a draft grant agreement, which TNC wrote up, memorializing our intended contribution to the project. Did anybody, read it and did they have any issue with what it said?
Fine to me.
Yes. So may I have a motion to approve the draft grant agreement as written by TNC?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we don't need to authorize a survey because we're gonna borrow TNCs. We don't need to authorize a phase one because we're gonna get help from TNC on that. And the BDR, do we need to approve expenditure for the BDR or is that just?
I would say no. It's
Okay.
just Part of,
It's just part of what we do.
part of what we do, yeah.
Great. All right. Moving on then. Anything else? Okay. New applications. Oh, by the way, transaction templates, I don't have, without Ned here, I don't have an update on that, so. Unless anybody else will. Okay. New applications. Who's got the clicker? Anybody talk about it? Can anybody talk about it?
Yeah, we looked at this when we bought
The other Brady property.
the piece off, the other piece off of Jeff.
So this is a current holding is the easement with the,
I believe it's all wooded, the other one.
I thought it said 18 acres of farm.
Yeah, I just saw that.
It said 18 acres of farm.
Yeah, actively farmed.
Forest.
Oh,
I don't know, let the cows run through the woods, I don't know.
Oh,
It's wooded.
Is it wet? Must be. Just wooded. Maybe not wet.
That part I don't remember.
Interesting. I was just expecting to see.
Yeah.
Fields.
That's an approximate wetland. I was gonna say. Boundaries.
Okay.
When we visited.
Any conversation about whether we want to accept the application?
I think we should accept it.
Any other perspectives?
I would like to see an explanation as why, I mean, is it being farmed or is it not being farmed? Because like you, Don,
No, I don't.
I read it,
I don't
it says
think it is.
maybe it's just
be honest with you, I don't think it is.
a misprint on the application, I guess. but-
So tell me about what the half and for Brady's or half and for did with us previously? They did 65 too?
65-2 is
Jeff actively farms that.
Jeff and Sheila Brady. They have animals there currently.
Okay.
And they definitely use this. I've not really heard what happens on this piece of land, but it's obviously wooded
Did the BDR.
on 65-2. Yep.
And it is wooded and it is wet. Now, obviously I didn't go into it because I wasn't doing that property. I was doing the two blue properties, but you know, I was along that boundary and a number of years ago now, but it was like wet woods and it was kind of opened on that side a little bit, like it had been used. Like if I was doing a BDR, I would have classified at least that edge of it as like ag support land, meaning maybe they put animals in there in the winter, maybe they cut trees out of there, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm only that line.
Anybody have a different perspective about whether we should accept the application?
I think we should accept it, because I've been told before by this group, doesn't mean we're gonna buy it, we're gonna accept it.
That's correct.
We'll go look at it, and if we don't want it, then we say. That's it.
Okay.
So I would only, just to Steve's point, you know, number 7 says number of acres from 6, if any being actively farmed, they have 18.
It could be fenced and he runs his cows through there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's look at it.
Right. Yeah, John.
A little bit of history here. If you zoom out a little bit, the parcel in question was originally larger, included 3 house lots to the east.
Yeah.
Adolf's son, Adolf IV, owns one of the smaller lots with his wife Meredith Beck. The other ones are in related ownership, I think. This was, because it's part of the watershed, it drains to Quicksand Pond, it's been on a TNC screen. Adolf asked me years ago if we had an interest in it, and I said, we do, but I don't know where the money would come from, except, you know, we'd probably do some private fundraising, but I don't know whether their hope here is to clear it and farm it or draw wood off of it, or I don't know what their goals are.
Just for,
The conservation easement in green up to the top is mostly now owned by Adolf.
Okay. May I have a motion to
So move.
accept the application? Do we hear a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
I can score this and bring it back so that you have a little more information.
Yep.
That's fine.
Scores and maps and, great.
We accept that we should have a site visit. Huh?
If you.
We should talk about, yeah, maybe, are you keeping a running tally of what we need to go see? Yeah, okay. Why don't you, could you send me a list of what you have in your head? Thanks. John, any Nature Conservancy update?
Not that I can think of, it's working with Bumblebee and
Okay. Well, with that, I would like a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry, a motion to move to executive session. So we need a motion to. Sorry about that. So,
So close.
so close. May I have a motion to leave open session and to enter executive session?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Public. I appreciate all your interest and your attendance. Thanks.